Aston Railway Station. Aston Railway Station serves the districts of Aston and Nechells in Birmingham, England. The passenger entrance is on Lichfield Road. The station is on the Cross-City Line and the Chase Line. It is the local station for Aston Villa F.C. It's next to Gravelly Hill on the line, and the station isn't far from the Aston Expressway. The station is situated adjacent to and above the Lichfield Road of 5127, crossed by a bridge as the railway line, part of the original Grand Junction Railway, opened in 1837, is on an embankment through what was pastoral parkland at the time of its construction. The line also crosses the Birmingham and Fazeley Canal, just south of Lichfield Road, on a bridge which is all that remains of a longer viaduct of 10 arches, described as one of the most beautiful structures on the line of the Grand Junction. The section of the viaduct crossing Lichfield Road, immediately south of the station, was replaced by a steel bridge in 1906. History. The route of the Grand Junction Railway, sweeping in a wide arc from Perry Bar through Aston to its terminus at Vauxhall, was dictated by the refusal of James Watt the Younger, the tenant of Aston Hall, to allow the railway to encroach upon Aston Park in the grounds of the Hall as planned in the Grand Junctions Act of 1833. The line was originally intended to enter Birmingham through a mile-long tunnel under the high ground on which the park is situated. In Clause Roman IV of a second act of 1834, the Grand Junction was forbidden from entering upon or into, take, injure, or damage, for the purposes of this act, any part of a certain park lying within the parish of Aston juxta Birmingham in the county of Warwick and Handsworth in the county of Stafford, known by the name of Aston Park. Aston was opened by the LNWR in 1854 and became a junction in 1862 when a line was opened to Sutton Coldfield by the same railway. In 1880 the LNWR opened a line from Aston to Stekford on the Birmingham to Coventry line, which also gave access to the Metropolitan Carriage and Wagon Company's works, later Metro Camel, at Saltley, reached by a short private siding, known in LMS days as the Metropolitan Siding, opened in 1904, from what the LNW. The Metropolitan Siding descended on an incline from Washwood Heath Junction, and was the subject of detailed instructions on the working of trains and prevention of what the instructions term breakaway wagons on the siding. The new line was also used for the Wolverhampton portions of some London expresses, and also to provide through carriages between Euston and Walsall. The first station at Aston was replaced by a new building during the construction of the Stekford line, with a booking office level with Lichfield Road. Stairs and hydraulic lifts for goods traffic gave access to each of the two platforms. Also in 1880, the LNWR opened a line for freight traffic from Aston to Windsor Street Goods Depot. The latter line closed in 1980. The LNWR's Aston Locomotive Depot Aston Shed was opened in 1883 in the area between the Aston to Birmingham and the Aston to Stekford lines, and with an entrance on Long Acre, Nechells. It was closed in 1965, by then under British Railways ownership. The line between Aston and Vauxhall and Dudeston was quadrupled in 1891. In 1900, a connection to Nechells Gasworks was opened from a point near Nechells Park Road Bridge on the line towards Birmingham New Street. When the gasworks closed in 1969, the branch was taken out of use at the same time. Although the tracks have been lifted, the embankment on which it ran remains substantially intact. The station became part of the London, Midland and Scottish Railway during the grouping of 1923. It then passed to the London Midland region of British Railways on nationalisation in 1948. When sectorisation was introduced, the station was served by regional railways on behalf of the West Midlands PT, for whom British Rail had been running the trains since the PT inception. In 2011, London Midland proposed a major reduction in the opening hours of the ticket office, with complete closure at weekends. Electrification and resignaling. Apart from the Sutton Coldfield branch, All of the routes passing through Aston, including the Windsor Street branch, were electrified in 1966 as part of the London Midland Region's electrification programme. The actual energisation of the line from Coventry to Walsall through Aston took place on 15 August 1966. In preparation for electrification, Aston's two mechanical signal boxes, Aston No. 1 and No. 2, were closed. Semaphore signalling was replaced by multiple aspect color light signals, and control transferred to the power signal box at Birmingham New Street. Electrification of the line to Sutton and Lichfield was completed in 1992 as part of the modernization of the cross-city line. In 2017, control of the signalling at Aston was transferred to the West Midlands Signalling Centre at Saltley. Services. Aston receives regular services on both the cross-city line, from Lichfield Trent Valley to Redditch, and the Walsall line, from Wolverhampton to Walsall via Birmingham New Street. In the evenings, services for the Chase line call at Aston. 6 services which call at Aston operate on the cross-city line in each direction every hour. Services southbound terminate at either Longbridge and Redditch, with 3 per hour to both each since the December 2014 timetable change. Northwards, there are 3 destinations on the cross-city line, which are Four Oaks, Lichfield City, and Lichfield Trent Valley. 2 of the 6 services run the full length of the line to terminate at Lichfield Trent Valley. 2 go to Lichfield City, and the other 2 only ventured as far as Four Oaks. The Walsall line is served by fewer trains. There are 2 in each direction every hour, both of which call all stations between Wolverhampton and Walsall via Birmingham New Street. Development of train services. Early days. In January 1858, there were 8 trains from Aston originating in Birmingham to Wolverhampton via Biscot Junction and Willenhall, the first at 8:21 and the last at 21:11 on weekdays. In the opposite direction, on weekdays 9 trains from Wolverhampton arrived at Aston between 8:51 and 22:25. The Sunday service consisted of 6 trains in each direction. The timetable shows 1 government or parliamentary train in each direction, running every day. Most trains provided through carriages to Derby via Walsall and Lichfield, dividing at Biscot. 20th century. In the LNWR timetable dated 3 October 1921, the service to and from Lichfield City, the extension from Sutton Coldfield to Lichfield, was opened in 1884, is shown as roughly hourly on weekdays, with additional trains terminating at Four Oaks approximately every 30 minutes. On Sundays 5 trains ran to and from Sutton. Trains to Wolverhampton and Walsall ran at irregular intervals on weekdays, with service of 5 trains to and from Walsall on Sundays. An interesting service was the New Street to New Street circular via Aston, Perry Bar, Soho Road, and Monument Lane, with 2 trains completing the full anti-clockwise circuit, but only 1 in the opposite direction. Most clockwise trains finished their journey at Vauxhall and Dudeston. There was no Sunday service. Trains on the circular route are shown in the summer 1939 London, Midland and Scottish Railway timetable as taking 43 minutes for the complete New Street circuit. Otherwise, the pattern of services in the months leading up to the outbreak of the Second World War had hardly changed since 1921. The London Midland Region timetable dated 10 September 1951 shows an irregular interval service of approximately hourly trains to and from Walsall and a similar service to Lichfield City via Sutton, with some trains running only as far as Four Oaks tables 68 and 69. In the summer 1963 timetable, by which time diesel multiple units were operating on both routes, there was a regular interval service pattern throughout the day, on weekdays every hour to Walsall and Rugeley Town, and every 30 minutes to Sutton and Lichfield, with occasional trains still terminating at Four Oaks. After electrification, services to Walsall were operated by Class of M4, later redesignated British Rail Class 304 electric multiple units. The 1970-1971 London Midland timetable Table 9 shows a weekdays only service of regular interval hourly trains throughout the day, augmented at peak periods with additional services. There was also one service originating at Walsall, which left Aston at 717 for Coventry via Stetford. There was no corresponding service in the Walsall direction. The Sutton and Lichfield service was largely unchanged from 1963 on weekdays, but there was now no Sunday service. The above pattern is applied also to trains to and from Birmingham New Street, where all trains from Aston to Walsall and Four Oaks or Lichfield originated. Following the introduction of the Cross-City Line in 1978, Aston gained through trains to and from Longbridge via Birmingham New Street. The basic pattern was Lichfield to Longbridge and vice versa hourly throughout the day Monday-Saturday, with additional trains running from Four Oaks to Longbridge and vice versa at 15-minute intervals. There were also additional trains to and from Redditch at peak times. On Sundays, Aston was served by a 30-minute frequency of trains to and from Four Oaks and Longbridge. Trains were operated by British Rail Class 108 diesel multiple units. The Walsall service remained basically unchanged from 1970 to 1971, with no Sunday service. Bus connections. Buses 65 and 67 operated by National Express West Midlands pass the station. Nearby, the station serves Aston Hall, Aston Events Centre, Aston Villa F.C., Aston University using one of the frequent bus services listed above along Lichfield Road towards Birmingham city centre. Church of SS Peter and Paul, Aston. King Edward VI Aston School,